Hi everybody, welcome back to me going through my favorites list on fanfiction.net and checking out the stories, seeing which ones I'll keep, which ones I'll throw out. So I lied in my last video. I still haven't reached where I started. I just looked at my fanfiction count and apparently it was created in June of 2006, so yeah, I still got a while to go. And I've got 4 stories to read this time, mainly because the last one was a fucking bitch to read. But I will say 2 of these are 2 of the first fanfics I ever read, so that tells you where I started, which was Pokemon, in fact. So let's get started. So number 1 is Spying no Jutsu by Daniel-Gudman. He's a writer that I have a lot of fics of, I believe, and he usually writes funny stuff, like a lot of humor. So I like a lot of his things. So how does this one hold up? This one is basically there's a hot spring festival going on, and the leader of the Rock Village and the wife of the leader of the Cloud Village are going to be there, and they might be making up a alliance to kill the Leaf Village. So they need to send someone there to spy on them, and who better than Naruto, of course. So it splits into 2 parts. There's the training arc of Naruto, learning how to be a spy and like learning how to act as a girl and all that stuff, and then there's the actual mission part, which both of them are fine. They're fun. It's enjoyable to see the interactions of Naruto as he's pretending to be a girl with like the rest of the village and stuff, and create some small running gags, as well as, you know, running gags with some of the other characters like Iruka. And the mission itself is okay. You know, we see him interact and, like, you know, use his talk no jutsu to make friends with the enemy, as he always does. It's just fun interactions and stuff, and I just really enjoyed it. It's really fun. The epilogue is a nice little cap of the story. It's just a fun ride that has some, you know, all the plot threads, all the jokes get resolved, everything's done. Nice little tidy thing that could easily have fit into the filler arcs of Naruto, so it's really glad, and stays on my list. Alright, number 2, What Might Be by Sakiku. This is another one that is like really, I read this pretty early. I actually forgot about it for a long time because it's a Naruto fic, but it has almost nothing to do with the Naruto world. It's something that I haven't really, you know, I don't really remember reading much of it, so I'd forgotten the exact name, but I always remembered this one, and it took me a long time to find it again. It's a third-person point of view story that takes place long after the ninja world is gone, like centuries afterwards, and it's got a really odd like narrative structure, and it's really interesting. I just don't want to spoil anything for it because it's really short, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anybody who likes it. It's a good story about, you know, anger, sadness, and redemption and stuff. So I think you guys should definitely check it out if you like it. Just really interesting, quick thing, and yeah, that's definitely staying on my list. Alright, now the very first fanfic I read on fanfiction.net. Time After Time by Namco. This is a Pokemon crossover with the movie The Butterfly Effect. And wow. Like, I remember when I first read it, I was like, that sounds interesting, it's cool, and you know what, it still has bits that are interesting, but it's like, God, it's trying too hard. I think that's the best way. Like, The Butterfly Effect is a pretty dark movie. A lot of shit happens. You know, there's rape, there's torture, there's fucking people blowing up and dying. Like, there's a lot of fucked up shit that goes on in this movie. And the fic Pokemon is not that. You know, Pokemon's very happy, cheerful, and that. And he just decided to slather all the dark tones and dark scenes pretty much beat by beat into this thing where like, okay, now Misty is now growing up as Ash's, you know, best friend, and they grew up just like the characters in the Butterfly Effect. The freaking sexual assault scene when he was a kid happens just the same. His father like is cheating on him, and that leads to different things. Cheating on his wife, and that leads to things. Suicide occurs. Freaking slavery occurs, and that is, oh my god. So, okay, so I didn't watch this far into the Pokemon anime, so I'm not sure if his character was butchered completely, but it seems really out of place. Like, one of the big twists is, like, this guy Rudy apparently wanted Misty to stay with him to be his girlfriend, and in the show she goes with Ash and all that stuff. So one of the times in trying to make a better life, Ash tells Misty to stay with Rudy, and then when he wakes up, now they're all in freaking intern camps with like Rudy's a cult leader who has all these male and female slaves, and at one point just says like, oh, we're gonna, like, this whole thing was, I'm pretty sure, just meant for this one cliffhanger where at the end of the chapter it's like, okay, now you 13 men stand next to another 13 people to decide who dies, and if you don't, I'll shoot 50 of you. It's like, okay, that, it's kind of ridiculous and just not really gelling with Pokemon. Another weird thing is that, you know, with the fact that it's been so dark and so it feels odd that near the end, Misty, it seems like, realizes that Ash can go back in time and is trying to help him in like the last one or two lives, and like that's not explained why, and it just shows up out of nowhere. And the actual ending is like, you know, it's basically the theatrical ending of the movie, but in a much happier ending where they actually, you know, remember each other and fall in love and all that stuff. And it's like, that's not, I don't get it. It's ridiculous, over dramatic, but it's not terrible. It just feels odd in a lot of places. It's you know, I thought hard about just keeping it for nostalgic purposes, that like it was the first fic I read, but no, it's like, I give this fic a solid and it's gonna get kicked off my list. Alright. And the last one for this video is called I'm Stuck in a House Full of Girls by Jordan R. Was Here. This is another guy who I've read quite a bit of, and he's probably going to show up more on this list. But this is another one of the very first fics I read. Again, Pokemon, like, probably might have been the second, might have been a couple, but it was one of the first ones. And it's a fucking mess. Like, this one is why this video, like, I was, as you saw with the previous videos, I'm trying to like put these out faster and try to read faster, because otherwise this is going to take even longer than I already know it's going to take. But god damn, this one took me over a week to read this whole thing, because I just didn't want to. As I would continue reading, I'd get through like one or two chapters, and then I just feel bored, and I'd turn to other fic. I reread, like, this fic was 200k words. I reread a fic that was probably 400k in 2 days while I was reading this, just because I didn't want to read this. It's so fucking boring. Oh man. Okay, so god, this is annoying. So it's incoherent and stuff, and just random shit happening all the goddamn time. And yeah, it's long enough that occasionally some of them did make me chuckle a little, but like most of it just falls flat on its face. You know, it's just, okay, so the premise is like Ash needs to go on to a trip like Battle Frontier or some other shit, and he needs money and he doesn't have it, so he's like, oh hey, there's this guy doing a reality show which is like basically Big Brother, and he signs up, and they ask him a bunch of questions about the people he knows, and now there's 4 girls that he knows that are acting like love crazy maniacs. There's 4 girls that he knows that are for some reason hating his guts and want to murder him, and then there's one random OC that has like this mysterious backstory that nobody says, but is apparently, like, in the author's notes very clarified that no, this guy is really important. I use him a lot. He's my favorite. He's my OC. It's just stupid. Like, again, there's all the like cliche stuff that goes on with like sports games happening, truth or dare, you know, ghost stories and things like that. And then there's super random shit like, oh, this, we have a remote that can change people's genders, and oh, this is your girl side that we're gonna pop out of your head and make into a new body, and it's just a new person that's just there. Or hey, we're gonna go into your mind and see what kind of person you like. And it's just, you know, it sounds interesting because there's so many things that are happening, but it's just not. It's not. One of the things that actually felt like was, which was weird to me, like it's just it kind of felt like the first Hobbit movie, which I remember watching. It was just like a lot of stuff happens in this movie. Sorry, not the first, the second one. It's like there's a lot of stuff happening. It's going from here to here to here, and action. But it's like just nothing mattered. I just felt so bored and dull, and the writing is not that great. There's a lot of fucking spelling errors and like words that come up and they're spelled wrong. Characters will just change feelings and motivations from one scene to the next, and they have to be explained via inline author notes that say like, oh wait, now like, oh now he's just not sad anymore, he'll be whatever, move on, and do it's just. And of course, you know, we had to pad the word count out with a bunch of karaoke segments where the characters will just sing songs and all of the lyrics to the songs are just written out on the thing, and it's just, god fucking damn it. It's like, and you know, as I was going, it's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna read it. It's 200,000 words, you know, it's gonna end. Let's get to the ending. Let's see who fucking wins this thing. And it doesn't end. It's not over. It just stopped. And god fucking damn it. Like, I don't even have closure. Fuck this story. You know, like, it's a mess. I'm kicking it off my list. And that's it for today. You know, like, those 4 stories, that's it for today. I'm gonna try the next video to get to June and finish it up. So hopefully that'll end there. And I'll try and see you guys again next time. Goodbye.